Okay, well, I've now got this very large piece of what I think is walnut. It's about 22 inches across. It's too big to go on the lathe over the bedway. It's a crotch piece, so I'm going to try and turn it and leave as much of the sides, the cut sides, in some shape or form as I can. A little bit wobbly. We'll have to see how it works out. I've planed and roughly sanded the sides, and I've planed this off to try and get this smooth. I've got a decent faceplate with a decent screw and 4 anchor screws on it, so it ain't going to go anywhere. This will be really quite wet and splitting around the grain even as I was setting it up. So as you can see, I've stuck it over the end of the bedway using the dropped section of the bed. Carefully getting the speed up to the point where it's not rattling and vibrating, which it did do at anything more than about 300 or 400 revs, and then slowly does it. Slowly taking down the outside to get to the point where I can get eventually a chucking method, but it's still very out of balance, so I've now gone back to the other side to true that up a bit more so that I can try and get the speed up a little bit. Cutting quite a bit of air, as you can see, because it's obviously quite an out of balance piece. Good bevel control. Not sure I'm doing it very well there, but that's what you need. Now I've got the top side a bit more even, I can start to hog out the bottom. I want to try and get a flat rim if I can, and a decent sized tenon on the bottom. The walnut is still quite wet at this point, so I'm getting some reasonable streamers. So after quite a lot of time finessing the bottom and trying to get a decent rim from the underside, I managed to re-chuck it and started to attack the centre. You can see there I've also thinned out the rim at the top because I want to make an upstand and then do an undercut for the actual bowl. So I'll progress now on to a carbide for the undercut with a curved tool rest to make it a bit safer. And then to get a decent finish on the bottom, a freshly sharpened bowl gouge and a push cut from the centre outwards, again getting some nice shavings because this is really quite wet. Right, just filling in the cracks using the Simon Hope carving jig. The drying cracks and splits have been filled with super glue and coffee grounds, but the whole unit is bending significantly as it dries. Okay, well this is the current position on the crotch bowl walnut. It's got these sort of yellowy tinges in as well, which appeared during the actual turning, which I'm not a great fan of. I've repaired all the splits, but can you see how, hold on, where is it? That side. So it's dried out now and stabilised over a week or so in the airing cupboard. Not got any more splits, but it's certainly well bent, and as you can get the angle across the top's got a Very nice sort of, there, you see that? Well, sort of, very nice sort of wave in it. So I think I'm going to have a go at piercing and texturing the outside and see whether that makes it look a little bit more attractive. At the moment it looks sort of knackered rather than attractively bent, if you know what I mean. I sort of think I'm going to change my mind. I think I'm going to pyrographize a sort of wobbly pattern around the outside, and then if I don't like the pyrography I can then burn through it, but I don't think I've got the patience to do lots and lots of piercings, so I'm going to try and pyrographize first, see what happens. The pyrography went well, and took quite a while to do all the pattern around the outside, but after that I also attacked it with the carving equipment as well to deepen up some of the marks, including the ones on the back, which you'll see shortly. But I really didn't like the fairly bland colour, and I didn't particularly like also the yellowy tone that the walnut was drying into. So I decided to colour it, so I've sprayed with an airbrush the chestnut spirit stain turquoise, and then I've embellished it with Jo Sonja gold paint and some gold gilt wax as well. As you can see on the back, I've also done it on the back, swirly patterns, and hopefully in due course it will dry and I can lacquer it and it'll maybe look alright, who knows. But the burn lines have worked out quite well. A lot of the burn marks were pure pyrography when they were deep enough, but some of them, particularly on the bottom, I carved in and then burnt again afterwards. I carried on applying more gold splodges and also some Jo Sonja iridescent paint splodges as well, just to make the finish a little bit more complex. And then I let it dry and settle down inside the house for a couple of weeks before putting some satin lacquer on.